Looks like my balls are telling me I'm out of time. That sounded so bad. So, MakerSwarm.
Rich, why don't you start?
Sure.
Well, first of all, I gotta introduce my judges. Sorry. Rich Miner, Google Ventures, Keith Rebois from Coastal Ventures, and Mary Lou Jepson, who is with the founder of Pixel Key Corporation. And with Google right now. Okay, go ahead.
Guys, you know what? I just realized I didn't even show what happens when you rotate the ball that I connected to the drone. Can you take off the drone? Thought I'd try.
Okay,
always trying too much. Come on down to our booth and you can actually fly around the drone with the ball.
So yeah, you didn't mention anything about the team. I'm interested in knowing about the team that has built this with the founders.
Yeah, I'd love to explain it. So I'm with Maya. We're all with Maya. Maya is a research and design lab. We focus on pervasive computing. Maya stands for most advanced yet acceptable. Case is our lead designer and engineer. He's a game designer who's been working on this for probably a year in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And Stuart's one of our lead designers who worked on the original research project with the Department of Mad Science that this came up.
Great. Well, I mean, very clean interface and design. One of the challenges with visual interfaces, I played around with visual programming interfaces for a while, is how they scale.
Yeah.
And how you do really complicated apps versus the type of things you showed, which are great for learning and little tools and experiments. But do you really think you can build sophisticated apps using an interface like this? And have you thought about how to build very complicated sequences of apps?
It's interesting. So we actually have patents on some of this visual programming from a few years back. We've been studying this quite a lot. We built systems that have scaled to tens of thousands of people collaborating that are in use today in pretty mission-critical situations. One of the things that we're always asking the interface designers is, okay, but what will that look like when there are 10,000 devices on the page? How will you solve that? And some of our early work has been in that space. It's data visualization for collaboration. Mary Lou?
It reminds me a little bit of a lot of work Alan Kay has worked on and so forth. And that hasn't taken off as much as we all dreamed. And your vision is that you have kids and so forth use it. How can we play that different this time?
Well, it's an interesting question. I mean, I think at some point you have to look for the epic that you're kind of heading into. And right now we're heading into trillions, whether we like it or not. We just made 10 billion microprocessors last year. And the question is, are we going to live in a world where we have to become more and more computer literate? Or can we flip the picture and actually have the world become more human literate? I don't think we can live in a world of unbounded malignant complexity. And we're less than 5 years away. I think when Alan Kay was doing this stuff, it was a little ahead of its time. I mean, it was amazing and a little ahead of its time. But at this point, we kind of need it, or else we're going to be servants to all these machines.
Sure. So I think it's really fascinating. What if anything, I didn't totally get this, do you have to do to either modify the devices at the manufacturer level or post-manufacturing to make this work?
So this is kind of interesting. Right now it's on Android because Android actually allows publishing of intents. So Google Voice exposes intents that other people can exploit. So basically we just built a little component that ties into those without touching their code. Now we do have a little cut and paste chunk that you can put into your code if you want to play nice with MakerSwarm. And the idea here is if you build parts, that's nested all the way down. It's turtles all the way down. You can keep nesting down to atomic infotrons, the sort of building blocks of these things. And the whole point is that if I built something that's 90% mine, but there are a few things in there, everybody participates in the monetization. So, I don't know.
All right, well, big round of applause. Big idea.
Amazing team. So I'm just a figurehead. So.
Thank you for showing this on stage. Don't forget your balls.
Thank you.
Next up,